Food for Thought with Professor David
It is
Ndete.
yet another beautiful day where we get to have conversations with Professor Ndete. It is Food for Thought with Professor Ndete. About 2 weeks ago, we began an interesting conversation on antisocial personality disorder. And it's a very interesting subject. You know, one of the things I love about these discussions is the awareness it's creating. Some issues, we interact with them, we see them, but we don't really know what they are or how to define them. And through this forum, we're getting to understand some things that we may think, anakuwaga tu namna hiyo, but maybe they have a condition and they can receive the help they need. So we get back to where we left off last week as we continue with antisocial personality disorder. Yeah. Before we talk about what do we do, I'm just wondering, could this also be drug-induced?
It is these people who have it's the other way around.
Oh.
It's the other way around. People with these problems, they tend to get involved in drug abuse. They are the people who look for, do anything to gain momentarily pleasure for some time.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be drugs, it could be other kind of things that they do to take drugs. So it's like this personality disorder will predispose a person to taking drugs. You'll be surprised. Taking drugs is rarely, even in general psychiatry, is rarely the primary problem.
Oh, the symptom.
It is usually a symptom. So when somebody is taking drugs, taking alcohol or whatever,
yeah,
fine. We don't deny the fact that they are taking drugs. We don't deny the fact that they might even be independent because they may have taken this and they have reached a stage where they cannot stop taking these drugs, because if they stop taking, then they develop withdrawal effects.
Yes.
But more importantly is, why did they start taking drugs in the very first place? And usually there is an underlying personality or psychiatric condition. Yes.
You know, the reason I'm asking that question is because I find there are people who, when they haven't taken any substance, they're very quiet, wamenyenyekea, but when they take whatever they take, they become so disruptive and antisocial. And it's like they now look for opportunities to make everybody else's lives miserable. They will say things, they will do things, and they don't want to be told.
When taking drugs tends to disinhibit behavior. In other words, where there was some kind of inhibition,
yes,
I should not do this, but then you take the drug, you gain the courage to take it. Is it possible that there was an underlying personality disorder, which was sort of under the wraps and under the influence of drugs, and then that inhibition is removed and they come out and they start behaving the way they behave?
Okay.
So it takes time, it takes a lot of listening, it takes a lot of talking to other people for you to be able to understand what led to what. You need to put things in sequence.
Yeah.
And once you do that, then you focus on the primary problem, then these other issues just tend to disappear on their own. I mean, where these other issues is taking drugs may just disappear because you have addressed the primary problem. Yeah.
Okay.
But that's the challenge of medicine, of psychological medicine, because it really needs to understand the person very, very well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So at what point does somebody say, this is a serious problem, I think I need help? Or you notice somebody, mahali amefika, they need help?
More often than not, as I will said, these people enjoy what they are doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they will never come on their own, completely out of
their own volition.
Out of their own volition, say that they have a problem.
Yeah.
Because I said it is the other person who has a problem. But it's those people who are who are living with this person, who are relating with this person at family level, maybe criminal justice system or work institutions who will complain or say there is a problem. And so in the management of personality disorder, particularly this one, where they tend to blame other people, the initial steps towards seeking help is by other people rather than by this person. Because they are incapable of feeling.
For them, they see nothing wrong with them.
They enjoy it. They enjoy it. It gives them a kick.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why would they want help? And it's
why would they want help?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why do you want me to stop me doing what I enjoy?
So what kind of treatment are these people taken through?
It's very difficult. But first of all, there's something we call comorbidity.
Comorbidity. I remember we talked about this some time
Comorbidity is when people with this condition, they tend to have other psychiatric disorders.
Yeah.
It can be depression, it can be schizophrenia, it can be something else. Which conditions that are relatively treatable. And if you have two conditions occurring at the same time, maybe 2, 3, 4, but let's talk about two conditions occurring at the same time. These two conditions affect each other adversely, so that one, this condition will lead to a worse prognosis of this other condition, and this condition will also lead to a worse prognosis outcome of the other condition. So for you to get better resource in one of them, then you need to treat the other one. And then it's like if you treat, if you identify the comorbidity, the different conditions that are occurring at the same time, if you treat them, then in this case you increase a better prognosis for personality disorder. That is like this patient that we used to have a lot of problems with. My consultant used to have a lot of problem with it. You'd go psychotic. It also happened to be schizophrenic. Yeah, and I think the reason why he used to come to the office to be brought to the hospital where I was working was because every time the schizophrenic symptoms came out very, very clearly, that is when the illness. That's when the illness seemed to go out of control. So they would be brought to the hospital and treated for the schizophrenic illness, and the personality disorder would go. So these guys probably are these guys who are serial killers. They are psychopaths. They see nothing wrong in killing people. It could be paranoid. This somebody, schizophrenic patient who thinks that, say, if I have schizophrenia, I say, you can imagine if I have a sociopath, at the same time I have a schizophrenic illness, where I view very suspicious. Then, and it's you, pastor, who is causing me these problems, I'll get at you. I'll go for you.
Definitely.
Yeah, because first of all, I have this extra condition we call paranoid schizophrenia, where I believe that you are the one who is behind my problem. And at the same time, I really enjoy causing people pain. Then I'll go for you. So you have to look out for comorbidity, and it tends to be very common. So that's first thing you do when you are dealing with these people. Serial killers, and we have a story of it. The other day, I think it was in the public domain. Somebody escaped from committee or whatever it is. And he went to the community as if he had no guilt. He is and just walking around. And then the community knew this person, and they went for him. And I think they stoned him to death or whatever. These are serial rapists. They rape. They cause pain. They are aggressive. They cause, and we see them all over the place. So when these things happen, and especially if the primary problem is a personality disorder, they are not easy to handle.
Oh.
They are very difficult to handle. I think personality disorders are the most difficult condition to treat.
Why?
Because it is basically their nature. It is basically their nature. It is like they are that way. Whether we are talking about narcissistic personality, obsessive compulsive, it is their nature, and changing them is like changing the whole personality of an individual.
Yes.
And remember what I said. The case of by psychopath or antisocial personality or whatever, it tends to start very early in childhood, then becomes psychopath at the age of 18. Fortunately, as they age, with time, the symptoms tend to reduce, disappear.
Oh, okay.
But then, if there's not been management, what damage would have been done in that time? They have gone to prison, they would have injured people, they have been serial rapists, they would have been serial killers, all kinds of things.
Okay.
So treating them is not easy, particularly with the sociopaths, because you can only treat a person effectively, assuming that you identify the comorbidities and you treat them. But assuming that you are just dealing with a sociopath, when you treat people, you bring them into a situation or a condition where they begin to say, I have a problem,
yes,
for which I need help. And therefore, let me listen to so and so, let me listen to the doctor, let me listen to my parents, let me listen to the pastor. But the sociopath, it's very difficult to bring him to that situation where he will see himself as a problem.
Okay.
It's always somebody else who is a problem.
Well, asanteni sana. That's all the time we have for today. Thank you for being a part of Food for Thought with Professor Ndetei. We'll get back to this discussion yet again next week as we talk about antisocial personality disorder. Have yourselves a great weekend. Hopefully, we connect again next week.
Food for Thought with Professor David Ndetei.